After a trial that lasted 3 weeks, a Colorado jury awarded more than $200 million to the family of a little girl who fell 10 stories to her death at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
I'm Kim Christensen. An investigation into the 6-year-old's death wasn't that she wasn't properly buckled into her seat on the haunted mine drop. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj joins us. You talked to the family's attorney today about this verdict.
That's right. Dan Kaplis is one of the attorneys who represented the family of Wangel Estefanos. He says they broke down in tears and prayed after the verdict was read.
This case and the way it happened is so uniquely horrifying.
On Friday, a jury awarded the family of Wangel Estefanos $205 million. The little girl died from blunt force injuries she suffered after falling 110 feet from a ride at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park in 2021.
You had the wrongful death award, the compensatory damages award, which is meant to value the loss of this little girl to her parents and what her parents suffer with every day because of the horrific way she died.
Attorney Dan Kaplis represented the family and says the verdict is significant for many reasons.
And the whole purpose of the law on punitive damages is learn the lessons, make the world safer, make sure this never happens again. And that's been the parents' quest from day one.
A state investigation found there were several factors that led to Estefanos' death. She wasn't buckled in properly. Instead, she was sitting on top of the still locked seatbelts.
I respect and understand the jury's finding that a portion of this fault goes to the manufacturer. But at the end of the day, you had two operators from this park sitting there with a 6-year-old girl in front of them and a red light for her seat that says there's a dangerous problem with her seatbelt.
In a statement, Glenwood Caverns blames the ride manufacturer Soaring Eagle, accusing them of building haunted mine drop with a defective restraint system that caused Estefanos' death. Kaplis tells 9 News Soaring Eagle no longer exists, so when it comes to getting accountability from them.
It's going to be interesting. That's going to be litigated separately after this trial. So there's not a clear answer to that at this point.
Kaplis says he's confident the verdict will have other amusement parks thinking twice about protecting their patrons.
When it gets too expensive to do it wrong, they'll do it right. When it gets too expensive to do it dangerously, they'll do it safely.
Now, this has been a 4-year legal battle for the family, and Dan Kaplis says while they acknowledge nothing is going to bring their little girl back, for them, this was about ensuring that no other family has to endure the pain and the loss that they continue to face. In studio, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
We will never forget that story. To think of a family out having a good time with a little girl, and that's just devastating.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Shalima. Emergency crews were able to put out a gas fire in Wyoming that could be seen across northern Colorado. We have video by David Carter on the Cheyenne Community Connections Facebook group page. Fire officials say a gas line rupture was reported early this morning west of Cheyenne along I-80. The fire could be seen in Larimer County, as far away as Loveland. Officials say the gas line rupture happened close to a train carrying hazardous material. Luckily, there was no problems. Crews with the Colorado Interstate Gas Company turned off the natural gas flow to the nearby pipeline. Officials say there's no threat to the public, no injuries reported. The NTSB and Union Pacific Railroad are investigating.
Let's take a live look outside on a Sunday afternoon. Another warm day across the Front Range, the very last day of summer. And the new season really takes shape tomorrow with cooler temperatures and storms, potentially at least in the forecast. Kathy, first day of fall is going to feel like fall.
Oh my goodness. And are y'all ready for snow?
I mean,
No.
Sure. No, you're a hard no.
No, I'm a hard no.
You're both so positive. No snow for Denver, but in the mountains, Monday night into Tuesday, the snow level could drop to 9,000 feet. Now, it's a good news, bad news. It'll be picturesque and beautiful, but this front and the snow with the wind may take down some of those beautiful fall leaves. So it's going to be an interesting 48 hours. We went from mostly sunny to mostly cloudy. Temperatures today warming to the upper 70s and low 80s. No issues with travel I-25 and I-70. And we're seeing 70s and 80s this hour along the Front Range. A cool 58 in Leadville, 61 in Kremling, 68 in Steamboat. Wind hasn't been a big feature yet, but that will become part of our weather story with the advance of a cold front that's coming in from the northwest tomorrow. And that system will roll from the northwest to the southeast. Now, ahead of it, we actually have some showers we're tracking on the radar. Non-severe storms, little thunder and lightning around Winter Park, Steamboat, and they're not holding together as they cross into Boulder or Denver, but I put an isolated shower chance in tonight. Severe threat this evening well east of us. Travel impacts Omaha, Wichita, Oklahoma City, and we will have an isolated foothill shower tonight, maybe a sprinkle in Denver. You'll see these little clouds roll through from time to time. It's really tomorrow evening into Tuesday that we see the biggest change with the incoming storm. Upper 70s now, mid 60s by midnight. Weather headlines include those isolated showers. We're going to look at that radar one more time. Tomorrow, the autumnal equinox, the beginning of fall, and there's snow coming for the high country. Timing and impact of that is just ahead.
Kathy, thank you. Supporters of conservative activist Charlie Kirk packed into State Farm Stadium today in Glendale, Arizona. This was for his memorial service.
And several high-profile Republican leaders, including President Donald Trump, are speaking at the service. People began lining up well before dawn to secure a spot inside the stadium. Speakers highlighting Kirk's faith and his strong belief that young conservatives need to get married, build families. Local and federal law enforcement increasing up security ahead of that service. The Department of Homeland Security designated the event as a level 1. That's usually reserved for a major event like the Super Bowl. Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, was murdered while debating students at Utah Valley University. His former pastor was just one of many sharing words about Kirk's life.
Charlie Kirk called me his pastor. I called him my friend. He had more lifetimes in 31 years than all of us have in the entirety of our own. And as I was thinking about that, to recount all that he's accomplished in 31 years is quite a feat.
A 22-year-old man from Utah has been charged with killing Kirk and faces the death penalty if convicted of the most serious charges.
Former 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan, who's now based in Dallas, is covering the memorial service for our sister stations this weekend, and he joins us now live from Glendale. And Cole, you spoke with some supporters who made the trip really from across all over the country.
From all over the country, Jenny, Kim, good to be with you. Right now, President Donald Trump is speaking. He's the final speaker on stage at State Farm Stadium behind me. But some of the most emotional moments from people who traveled, as you said, all across the country happened just minutes ago when Erica Kirk spoke, the widow of Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist. She detailed how her late husband wrote her love notes every weekend and forgave the man accused of killing him. Folks traveled from all across the world to be here, really, and lined up starting early this morning, some as early as late last night.
The line began before the day did. Hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands, waiting for Charlie Kirk's memorial service.
He's Charlie Kirk, and he's one of the biggest movements. Look at what he's done.
Joni Peters drove from Vegas, but couldn't find a spot to park. The line snaked through lot after lot.
Oh, and like I told my daughter, this is unfortunately her generation of the JFK.
Kirk's assassination last week brought them to State Farm Stadium.
We're all here to honor someone that meant a lot to us.
President Trump, Vice President Vance, and much of the cabinet all set to speak, but outside, not everyone made it in.
They were getting a little frustrated here and there.
This is just some of what they left behind. Emergency crews worried about the son almost as much as security.
There was a lot of calls for medics, and we're like, maybe we should head back and watch it on TV.
Some just gave up. Making the trip, they say, is what counts.
It doesn't really matter where we watch it. You know, it's that we're here to show the support, and we just want to be a part of it, all of us.
One thing we did not see in all those lines of people waiting to get in, protesters. Only 3 or 4 on a street corner here, and that was about it. As I said, right now, President Trump is on stage, and we could hear the roar from inside State Farm Stadium as he took the stage. We talked about people coming from everywhere. Estimates from Turning Point USA were about 200,000 people registering for this event. Less than that showed up. About 95,000 people are current estimates from local authorities. That more than fills the stadium behind me and leaves about 9,000 people in the overflow arena next door. Jenny, Kim.
Still a very, very big event.
Yeah, huge event, and the security is held up, and now at some point they're all going to exit, but it's been quite a long day there for all of them, Cole.
It has been a very long day, Kim, for a lot of people, and the security situation is not over yet. Even as we see some folks trickle out, there are going to be a lot of people, tens of thousands of people, all coming out of here at once, and authorities here are not going to breathe a sigh of relief until they all make it safely home.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Cole.
Thanks, Cole. Back here at home, Denver police are investigating a deadly crash between a driver and a pedestrian. Happened near Sloan's Lake last night. West 17th and North Sheridan Boulevard, right by that King's Supers near the lake. Denver police first reported this as a hit and run, but several hours later they clarified the driver actually did stay on scene.
Colorado state officials are warning of text message scams. They're likely to impact our state. According to the Department of Revenue, the scammers are sending text messages to taxpayers asking for banking information. The messages say it's so that people can receive their tax refund. These messages mention there will be no consequences for not responding. Officials say the scams are targeting people in 9 states. They believe Colorado's up next. The Colorado Department of Revenue says it will not send unsolicited texts asking for personal data.
This week, Evergreen High School students and staff will return to the classroom nearly 2 weeks after a shooting shook that community. Jeffco Public Schools has now released a plan. They're going to gradually welcome back students and staff. Tomorrow, staff will return. They will have a parent information session at Bergen Park Church tomorrow and Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, there's an open house walkthrough for parents and students at the school. And then on Thursday begins a 2-day student gradual return to the high school. That will be both Thursday and Friday. You'll remember a student opened fire at the school, hurting 2 classmates before the shooter killed himself. One of the victims is in critical condition. The family says he will likely require lifelong full-time care. The other victim remains in the hospital.
One of the men charged in the death of a well-known community activist in 2022 is expected to be sentenced tomorrow. Newlaw is one of 4 people prosecutors say was involved in the murder of Ma King near Freedom Park. She was unloading groceries when a stray bullet hit and killed her. Law pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and is cooperating with investigators. 2 of the 4 men have already been sentenced. Ma King was a beloved East Colfax community activist and a local restaurant owner. She brought her family to Denver from Myanmar about 2 decades ago.